Gamers, I am back with a highly requested video. All I see in my comments nowadays, I swear, and even in my Twitter DMs even, I even got an email from one guy saying, my God, please just make a Clash Royale tier list eventually. Eventually? Fucking good one. Just make a Clash Royale tier list already. I know, I've got some pretty, out there opinions about this game, and I think it's about time I made a tier list. So here we are. This is just a pre-built one. There's a couple of the newer cards missing, but I don't have a solid opinion on those cards yet anyway, since they are, of course, new. So we're just going to be ranking all of these cards. And I'm just going to go as I go, to be honest. Just as I see them, I'm going to drag them in, say where I think they are. Let's rename some of these tiers, though. Let's fucking God tier card. S tier is going to be God tier. It's obviously going to be God tier, right? Swag tier. B. Average cock size. 13 seems massive to me, but we'll whack it in. Because it's average. Why is it? It's copied the font style. I want to cry. Since they're like the middle of the tier, they're the average boys. So, obviously you got your 13.12 centimeter tier. C is going to be your bun cheeks. And then we'll add in another one because there are some cards in this game that are just shit. This is just something called F tier because you're so awful that you don't even deserve a fucking a funny name. All right. Yeah, like I said, I'm just going to go as I see them. Let's start off with some actual like S tiers, Arrows, come on now, God tier. Zap, God tier. Like, these are the ones that are just like, you see them in nearly every card layout you see. Every good one at least is going to have arrows or zap in. You just need them for like half the shit in the game. And they're just cracked. So yeah, what do I think's better? Arrows, honestly, they're on par. I think they're on par. I think they're pretty well balanced because you got the zap that cost less, but the arrows, like, I don't know. With the arrows got buffed, so they do in 3 hits instead of 2. They're on par now. I would have said zap was better before, but right, what else we got? Musketeer, probably God tier. Musketeer is fucking cracked. It's just an all-purpose card. You know what I mean? Like, most decks you can fit a Musketeer in, and it's gonna do bits, fam. Same with Valk. We'll whack her in there. Wizard. I don't think he's quite as good, but he's still pretty good, pretty all-purpose, kind of the Musketeer, and like you can fit him into most decks. The only thing is 5 is quite a lot, that's half your elixir. So I don't know, if he gets fireballed or something, you're kind of out. So that's why he's not going into S tier, but still, he's all-purpose. So he's going in A. Inferno Dragon, A. Swag tier. We saying swag tier? I'm saying swag tier. It's a pretty dead card if you're not playing against like someone that's got like a big, like a giant or a P.E.K.K.A. or like a Mega Minion or something. However, it just completely shreds those cards, so it's worth having anyway. And if you've got something else in your deck to cycle, then it doesn't even matter if you're against, like a Pokken deck or something that counters you. Miner. Fuck, I don't know where to put Miner. You are a bit of a pussy if you use Miner. That's all I'll say. You know what? Average. Got average cock size. It is annoying playing against a miner. Princess. Where's Princess? You can put her in the average cock size as well. Balloon. I've just happened to see. I guess kind of below average. I think of the cards that go straight for the tower, they're one of the worst ones for sure. Like, they can shred ass, and I've actually used a fair few balloon decks in my day. And, you can definitely do bits. You can definitely run up on towers. And if it works, let's say you got a little lumberjack in there as well to drop the rage. You go like a lumberjack balloon and then like you freeze the tower. That's what I used to do. You can just shred a tower and it can just work. But then usually you're then on the defense because you've used like 12 elixir to get this tower. So sometimes it can just backfire. And also, it's a bit of a high risk high reward play anyway because most buildings are going to counter it. Fuck it. We're dropping the miner down because I think the balloon's probably better than the miner. P.E.K.K.A. Your bun cheeks, your shape. You can't use him to attack straight up because you're asking to lose, right? It's countered by half the shit in the game. Then what? You've used 7 elixir and you've been countered by fucking skeletons. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to counterattack with it, and to counterattack with it, you got to sort of hope that someone's putting down like a royal giant or something, just without any kind of prep for it. They just go straight up aggro with a royal giant so that you can counter them with the P.E.K.K.A. It's just shit. Actually, I'm tempted for F. I'm tempted. Actually, no, we'll go with your bun cheeks because there are definitely worse things than the old P.E.K.K.A. Speaking of Fs, though, speaking of absolute just degens, we're going to put the 3 Musketeers down here. Like, what is this? 10 elixir. I think it's 10 now. It says 9 on there, but I think it's 10 now. Your shape? Like, No one wants to use 10 elixir on one troop and then it can get countered by like a fireball. Like, you are garbage. Mini P.E.K.K.A, since we just did the P.E.K.K.A, definitely far, far better. The Mini P.E.K.K.A is basically the P.E.K.K.A, except not 7 elixir, right? Use it in the same way, because it does big chunk damage. So you'd use it to counter, like, something, just something that's pushing you. I don't know, like a Hog Rider or a Giant or something. Except it only costs 4. It's, like, just way better. In fact, I think it's up here with the Inferno Dragon, because it's kind of the same sort of vibe. I just saw Bomber. Fuck, I don't know where to put the Bomber, man. He's like... what else we got? We'll go for Mega Minion. Oh, Mega Minion's up here somewhere. But also, see, I'd love to... I love the Mega Minion. I use him in like every deck that I have because I think he's cracked. But also, definitely can't go in God tier because he costs too much and sometimes he just doesn't hit. But then again, like the massive splash damage you get when you put him down is just like, yes, suck me off. I never see anyone using Rages anymore. Oh, I feel like I used to see loads of Rage Pot users, and now I just don't. And I don't. So I feel like they can't be that high up, but also, I don't know, when you got the Lumberjack. Average. They're average. Average cock size. Magic Archer. Where are you gonna go? Oh, I don't know. I don't use Magic Archer because I don't have fucking daddy issues. But I do think they're a pretty good card purely because of the range. You can sort of whap them down, and then like when double XP hit when double elixir hits at the end, you can just kind of run up on people with it, and it will just sit there and do like loads of damage, especially if you're attacking the tower. So there's that. It only costs 4. You know what? Yeah, it's going swag tier. It's going swag tier. It doesn't do that much damage, but situationally it can pop off. Knight, swag tier. Is it better than... What's it better than? I would say that Knight is proper the top of swag tier. Yeah. Let's order these boys. They haven't really been ordering them. I've sort of just been chucking them in. But like, yeah, I'd say this is pretty accurate. But yeah, Knight is definitely the top of swag tier because... Fam, 3 elixir, it's like super dummy tanky. It'll 1v1 most things, especially like under the tower range. It's a defensive troop, right? But yeah, it's just good. I feel like we don't see enough Knights. Knights are underrated troop in my humble opinion. Minions, we'll go for the average cock size. Like, I feel like there's no reason really to use the 5 minions when you can use the 3 minions, which is just like way better because, you know, they cost way less and you basically use them the same way. Like, you're not using them to attack, generally speaking. It hurts me to put this in God tier, but God, it's just so good. It's like free damage. I hate it. I hate it. I'm gonna teach you a little thing about Clash Royale. It's basically like rock, paper, scissors, right? With your way your decks are. It's kind of like a fighting game. So like, you know how in fighting games you'll have like grab, beat, shield, or you'll have something that beats defensive options, right? You go grab, beat, shield, your shield beats your attack, and your attack beats your grab, right? That's sort of your rock, paper, scissors game that you got going on throughout a fighting game. It's the same in Clash Royale, right? You've got your aggressive decks, right? They kind of counter your decks that just poke. You got your decks that just poke, like your Hog Rider decks, right? And then you've got your counter attack decks that counter the aggressive decks. All right, I'm a counter attack boy. I gotta say, I do love a counter attack boy. But then when I come up against these poking decks, these fucking Hog Rider getting the free damage piss me off. But yeah, I do think Hog Rider's S tier because you can just whack him down and he basically just does free damage every time. So if you're not, you know, hitting those good aggro moments, you're not capitalizing, you just lose by default because they poke you down. And usually these Hog Rider using virgins end up going with like a cauldron and stuff as well. It's just not a good time. It's just not a good time playing against one, but also they are very good, so they're gonna go up the top. In fact, they're better than, you know what, there we go, above Musketeer. I'm saying Fireball. They do call me Mr. Worldwide, to be fair. Is it swag or is it average? That's the question, because it's like one of them where it's like, depending on what deck you're playing against, it could either be the absolute god tier that just takes out like everything, or it's just a bit shit. Top of average, I'm saying, because it's like, why wouldn't you just use arrows instead? You don't want to have both of them. So if you're gonna choose one, you're definitely gonna choose arrows of the two. Or at least I would. So yeah, it's gonna go for the average cock size, unfortunately. Oh dear. Elixir pump. We got ourselves an S tier. Who the fuck's using elixir pump? Like, most of the time it's gonna get like fireballed, or you just whack down your 6 elixir thinking, oh yeah, this is a great investment, and then you just get attacked because you're 6 elixir down, and then you just like lost half your tower, and like it just doesn't the return is not that good, especially if they have a fireball. It's just like a waste, or a lightning or something. You're just done. So yeah, your bun cheeks F tier. Get out. Let's go for the expo in Yarabun Cheeks. Like, it can be used well. I'm not saying that the expo has never been used and it's worked, but fuck, usually it's just shit, isn't it? Let's be honest. Maybe an eye, but it's like bottom of eye. You get me? Like, it's like bottom of eye tier. Sparky, I've seen this as well. This is going in Yarabun Cheeks. Like, again, it's not never been used well, you know what I mean? But it's not good. And it's just always something else I'd rather use. Oh, Electro Wizard, I've just seen you. Get up there. Get in God tier. I don't care about your opinion, because the Electro Wizard slaps ass. It's so good. You place it down, skeletons or whatever, like minions, gone, dead. And then it can attack like multiple things at the same time, stuns them as well, because it's got the electric effect. Like, bro, it's so good. I love it. I use the Electro Wizard is another one where I'm just like, I need to find a way of putting this in my deck. It's so good. Which has been reworked so many times, I don't even know where to put them, but I guess average cock size, because, like, I don't know, it just is pretty average. Like Fireball, which is like a really commonly used thing, counters are massively. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like even when used well, they're not that rewarding to use, you know what I mean? Like the Witch, like what she do? Like poke your tower for like 4 damage a pop with her little fucking hand magic. Like, no, you're trash. Oh my god, we're getting to a lot of cards that I just don't give a fuck about now. Let's go with these guys, the old Elite Barbs. Again, they're kind of on the same page to me as like the P.E.K.K.A. Is like, you can't just really whack them down often. Like, you can whack them down sometimes like a lot more than the P.E.K.K.A, because the P.E.K.K.A is such a slow fat cunt that even if you're like 7 elixir up, you whack it down, they're probably going to have something to defend it by the time it gets to the tower, you know what I mean? But at least the Elite Barbs are like really quick. So if you're like elixir up on them and you're like, right, we're capitalizing this, especially if you've got like a rage pot as well, you just like barb rage and it can just shred ass. I personally have never had a problem with them because I use Mega Minion in like all my decks and I'm a counter attack deck, like I said. So honestly, you just they're just weird because like they can be used to counter attack, which I feel like is the play, but also there's better things to counter attack with. But also they're quite good for, they're just average, because like they're quite good counter attack but not the best. They're quite good aggressive but not the best. So I guess just average cock size. Better than the Witch, better than the Rage. Yeah, but no, not better than the Rage. What else we got? Ooh, the little fire nymphs. Now I think these are really underrated, and I'm actually going to put them in swag tier, otherwise known as A tier, because they're pretty all-purpose. They only cost 2 elixirs, so they're decent for deck cycling. They can poke towers if you leave them, which often they will get left because nobody wants to use something to defend 2 elixir, you know what I mean? They take out any sort of like skeletons, skeleton guards. So yeah, they're just pretty good. Even just if you're like, you know, it's like a fucking massive shit going on under the tower, you just put them down. They get quite a decent bit of damage. So actually, I'm going to put them above all these cards because they're very all-purpose. You kind of, again, you can squeeze them into the deck somewhere, they're probably going to work out. You know what I mean? Dearie me. Oh, I'm so tempted for F tier, but they're just not as bad as either of these. So I'm going to put them in Yarabun Cheeks. Here's the thing about Clash Royale, it's like no deck beats every deck. You know what I mean? Like, even if you got like the best deck in the game, there's still like losing matchups, you know what I mean? Because again, you know, there's rock paper scissors game that we play, and you have to fully commit to this. And often it's just not going to work. It's depending on what deck you're playing against. Sometimes it might, but often it's just not going to work. So Yarabun Cheeks, I'm sorry. Again, it can be used well. It's just not common. I am going to put it above these 2 shares though. Same as Golem. Golem, you're on the same page. You're better than the flying Golem, but Snowball, you're trash, fam. Like the Snowball, yeah. Why on earth would you ever use Snowball over Zap? Like, there's like no reason. And that is why, even if Zap wasn't in the game, it'd probably be higher, which is kind of weird. I feel like that shouldn't be how it works. But also, it's like, fam, just use a Zap. Like, Zap just is better. Like, I'm going to put Snowball in I, because it's like, sure, it's like it's an AoE thing like Zap, right? It's basically the same thing except trash, but that's still decent because Zap is like the best thing in the game, one off anyway. So it's just, I don't know. Fuck a snowball. If you're using snowball, just don't. Basically, moral of the story. You know what? Flying machine, actually, we're going to put fucking down here as well. Because, like, flying machine, why would you not just use musketeer? It's just better. Musketeer does more damage. End of list. It's just like, it's better because it does more damage. It's slower as well, which is actually better because it's more of a defensive card than an aggressive card. So you want it to be slower so that it doesn't literally just razz it away and die under your enemy's tower. You know what I mean? So it being slower is better. So musketeer is god tier. Flying machine, you're just a shit musketeer, mate. You're going right down here with the snowball. Giant, again, giant's the same. Actually, we'll do royal giant first. Royal giant, kind of like the hog rider. It's like very close to just free damage. In fact, I would say it's even closer to free damage on a tower. You just put down your royal giant, it's going to get 1 or 2 hits off like the hog rider. But the royal giant obviously does cost 6, so it's a bit more of a commitment than the hog rider, which is why like the hog rider kind of fits into your poke index a lot more because you're putting down 4 elixirs, basically nothing. It's going to go and get damage, right? Whereas the royal giant, I actually use royal giant in my main deck. But you definitely need to use it as more of a counter attack because it is obviously 6. But, you know, when you do get a good counter attack off, it's getting a lot of damage, like more damage than the hog rider. However, I do think poke index generally, I don't know, man. I'm going to put him in here. I think that's good. I think that's a good place. Giant, you're just a shit royal giant, mate. 5 elixir. Like, giant, it's like, fam. You could go down 1 elixir and use the hog rider, which is way better. Or you could go up 1 elixir and use the royal giant, which is way better. So it's just like, why would you use giant? It can be used well, but why would you want to when you can just have such an easier time with one of the other ones? I'm not going to put it down with these boys though, because like these are a bit more extreme of a difference. Like 5 elixir ain't that bad, but still. Oh my god. Covid.mp4. Oh, wait, can I say that? You know what? This is dumb. Let me just rant here real quick. YouTube is really doing me like not saying the name of the virus, right? Because it gets them demonetized. What is that, YouTube? Literally everyone knows what it is. Like, it is the thing that is happening right now. It's the only thing that, like, why are you going to demonetize? It's like, what? There's like demonetizing the fucking just... What? I don't understand. Basically. I'm going to move on because that's not what this video is about. It's about Clash Royale, boys. Yes. Sex with dogs. Guards, you're just god tier, bro. You're god tier. They're super good. And they did get nerfed recently. However, even so, but fam, before they got nerfed, honestly, one of the best cards in the game. Like, they'd be like up here, just below Zap and maybe even above. Honestly, no capping, maybe even above. But like, because fam, you'd have the shields. It would take like 3 hits to go through the shields from a princess tower and then 2 hits for the skeletons. So you could just put them down, and if they were ignored, which they would be because people are like, oh, it's only skeletons, right? They would just half hit a tower. That's just so dumb. I used to use them all the time just to put them down on one side while shit's going on the other, and they'd just go and half hit the tower. It's like, what? But they did get nerfed recently, so now they're, you know, balanced, which is a bit cringe. But they're definitely still god tier. I actually reckon they're above Valk, to be honest. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're pretty even with Valk, but they're definitely god tier either way. Let's go Lumberjack. I reckon Lumberjack's pretty underrated. Definitely Lumberjack for me. It's like nobody uses him, but I feel like they definitely should. Like the rage pot that it drops just and buffs everything. I said this earlier a little bit briefly, but I used to use Balloon Lumberjack Freeze. It's a 12 elixir push, right? No, 13 elixir push even. But my god. You put down the Lumberjack right at the back, and whilst it's running up, yeah, you're getting enough elixir for your balloon. You put your balloon down right at the front when the Lumberjack gets there. There's nothing they can do to defend, because what they'll do is they'll put something down to shoot it, right, next to the tower. It will kill the Lumberjack. The Lumberjack also drops the rage. Then you freeze whatever they've put down to defend and the tower. So they're just... Your balloon then gets like 4 hits off on the tower. It's actually insane, fam. But that's just like that again, no deck beats every deck, and like half the decks you come up against just are equipped to defeat that. But fam, you run up on them if they're not. But yeah, Lumberjack feel like super underrated basically. Oh, but also it's like I don't use them. No, they're going swag. You know what, they're going above wizard. Yeah, they're going yeah. I'm saying true. Fuck it. Freeze actually high key cracked. I'm gonna put it right at... Oh no. Thing is, because it is a potion, it's like you can't just have freeze as your only spell in your deck, right? You're gonna need arrows or a zap as well, in my opinion, or just like something to do like skeletons or something, because you don't want to use 4 elixir to get rid of like a skeleton army. I don't think, anyway. I wouldn't, or like goblins or something. Basically, you sort of need to build your deck kind of around the freeze. Like, you need to prep to have the freeze. Like, you can't just whack it in. So it can't go in like god tier, because like any of these up here, maybe not Hog Rider, you sort of need to build your deck around Hog Rider as well, but like any of these other ones in god tier, it's like you can probably just put them in your deck somewhere. It's probably going to be fine. But freeze definitely isn't like that. But I do still think it's very good. And again, underrated, because god, it's annoying when you are trying to defend and then it all gets frozen for like 3 seconds, and it's just like, brilliant, now my tower's dead. But yeah, I'm actually going to put it above, no, below Fireball, but, you know, the average cock size tier, I reckon. Oh, but also, I feel like Fireball should go swag tier, to be honest. You know what? They're both going swag tier. Fuck it. I'm putting, yeah, no one is going to agree with me on this, that Freeze in swag tier, I feel. But also, fuck it. Bats honestly kind of pop off. Let's put them swag tier straight up. 2 elixir. Good for deck cycling. Doesn't really matter if you fail a use on them. Like, they're just good. They counter shit like the balloon. Ruined. But honestly, bats counter balloon more than like anything else, which is like an insane concept. Above lumberjack. Above that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Swag tier. Skeletons are kind of like the bats, except way better for deck cycling, because they only cost 1. And obviously, they only defend against way less stuff, like a P.E.K.K.A. This is why P.E.K.K.A.'s just down here in the dumps. It can be countered by 1 elixir troop. You know what? Yeah, they're pretty good. I'm going to put them swag tier. Low swag tier. Above the freeze. They're better than freeze. Archers. You see, archers for me is like, I wouldn't use them over musketeer, like, ever. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean they're bad, but I just sort of can't not see them in that light. Top of average, I think. I mean, people can put them at the back and then one goes each way, but I think that's a bit of a shit strat, to be honest. Like, I don't really see the point in that strat. Like, I've never seen somebody doing that and I'm like, oh fuck, this one archer and it starts shredding my tower. Like, no, it gets like 3 hits and does barely any damage, so it's not even worth doing, even if you leave it. So then you're basically left with just 1 archer. But use them in the same way as your musketeer and they're pretty okay, but I wouldn't use them over the musketeer. So yeah, top of average. Yo, let's go for the old fucking lightning. Why have I gone with lightning? This is such a hard one to place. See, the way I use it is like, so I'll use my royal giant, put him down, he's pushing up, then I sort of have it just in case they put down like an inferno tower or an inferno dragon, because it will reset the build up, like the scaling damage of those troops, and also do like loads of damage. And then if it's in a tower, for example, my royal giant will just kill it, and if it's a dragon, then it's probably dead anyway to just the damage. But also 6 elixir is a fucking hell of a lot for a spell. I'm actually going to put it pretty low down. I don't actually think, even though I use it, I don't actually think it's that good. I think it's alright. Barber the Barrel. This used to be really OP, and then they nerfed it, and now it's still very good. I'm just going to leave them up there. They are god tier. Like, I mean, are they god tier though? Yeah, they're pretty god tier. Dark Prince, you're trash, my guy. Like, you are trash. I want to put him in Yadabun Cheeks, but it's not as bad as all these. Like, 4 elixir ain't that bad, but also it's not alright. Like, you know what? You're trash. You're bum cheeks. Let's do the other prince. So here's the other prince. He's a little bit better. Way better actually, I think, than the Dark Prince. I know you get the people do the Prince and Dark Prince combination. Loads of people do it. Overrated as fuck, in my opinion. Yeah, but a Prince, you're going alright. You're for alright. It's just like kind of like a, if you can get him to the tower, he chunks. Absolute trunks. But getting to the tower is a bit of a fucking chore, because there's so many things in the game counter him. Zappies. Let's do Zappies. Underrated as fuck, to be honest. Like, let's be like, no one uses Zappies because there are just better options for 4 elixir, right? Like, I just couldn't, although I like them, I wouldn't fit them into my deck because I just don't see what I would take out. Like, I'm not going to take out my musketeer. That'll be what makes the most sense, right? Very low swag tier. As a defensive card, they can definitely pop off. Log, oh, you're shite. Actually, we'll go average. We'll go low average because, like, Oh, the thing is, they are good though. Well, no, log high average, but like with the log, it's like, so like, let's say you put down a hog rider and then the log behind it. That's quite a popular thing to do. If someone's counter to that is skeleton or skeleton guards, they have to wait for quite a while for the log to despawn. Otherwise, they're just going to put all their skeletons on and they're going to instantly die. So that basically even more so guarantees the hits that the hog rider was going to get. But other than that, it's like, why, like you can get the same sort of effect with a zap. Like I do it with my royal giant. I'll put him down and then hover just with a zap over it. And if they put down a skeleton army, I just let it rip. And if they don't, I do something else. So yeah, log average. Ice nymph, underrated again, only costs 1. They freeze something. It's just really quite decent. I feel like they don't get used enough for how good they are. I'm gonna put them in here. Very high swag tier. You know, only being beaten out by these 3 in the swag tier. Heal. I just caught my eye. Fuck. Where? I don't know where to put the heal. I don't even think it costs 3 anymore. Because they made it cost 1 at one point, I think. I don't fucking know. I've never used it. I've never even seen anyone using it. Based off of that, it's going in mid-eye tier. I'm sorry, heal, but you're just not that. You know what I mean? You're not that. You haven't got that. You get me? Like, you're just a bit, you know. Rocket, pretty, again, underrated. Like, it costs 6, so people I feel like don't use them very much. Oh, but then again, I've put lightning all the way down there, and lightning and rocket are pretty similar in the way you use them. I'm just gonna put it down here next to the lightning because I think they're pretty much, oh no, I don't think one's that much better than the other, and I think lightning is better because it's a bit more versatile, I guess. The bigger area of effect or whatever is nicer. Executioner, he's just caught my eye. Is this the Executioner? Is that what he's called? Yes, it is. Better or worse than the Wizard is the question, really, isn't it? I much prefer them to the Wizard. I think they're better than the Wizard. I'm going to say it. People use Wizards way more, but I think the Executioner actually takes the cake because the axe is just out for so long. Just such a big hitbox, and it can just take out so many things, and just like the damage that it'll do from the back just stands there throwing it out and doing absolutely shit tons of damage. Generally, Executioner a lot harder to deal with than the old Wizard, in my opinion. Well, not a lot harder, but marginally harder to deal with than the Wizard, which is why I put them next to each other, but the Executioner takes the cake, unfortunately. Hunter, he's gonna go pretty high up, actually. I like the Hunter. No one uses him, but I think he's pretty good. Costs the same as the Musketeer. I think this is part of the reason that nobody uses him, is just like the Musketeer, it's just safer. You know, it's like much more scenarios where the Musketeer is going to do bits, but he's still good. He's still definitely good. Swag tier for sure. Let's put him in here. I think that's no, in here. Yeah, I think that's valid. Goblin Barrel. Oh, you do hate yourself if you use this card. Oh, it's just so annoying to play against. I feel like it seems better than it is because of how annoying it is. I'm going to put it in average. I don't think they're that good, but they just are so annoying. Top of average though, top of average. Better than the log, I think. Bandit? Is that what she's called? The Bandit? I don't know. Like, no one ever uses her. Pretty good pricing for what she can do. People use her aggressively a lot just to put her down. They back her up with, I don't know, some AoE thing, like some fire imps or something, so she doesn't counter by skeletons. And then she can just biff the tower. I don't know. I feel like, generally speaking, she does most bits when there's a fight going on one side and you put her down on the other and hope that the enemy leaves her alone, which isn't that good of a strat, because if the enemy's not an idiot, then they've probably got the elixir to deal with her. Probably here. Better than Rage, but not better than Princess. What else we got? Oh, God, there's so many Goblin cards in this game. I hate them. Regular Goblins. They only cost 2, so good for deck cycling. I'm going to put them in average, but very low average. And then we'll do the Spear Goblins as well. I think they're worse. Oh, do I think they're like so similar cards, but do I think they're better or worse? I think they are going in the same place. I just don't know if I think they're better or worse. I think they're worse. Your Goblins, they're kind of like your tanky version of your Skeleton. Where is Skeletons? What? I already ranked them. I am dumb. Yeah, like I feel like the Goblins are kind of like your Skeletons. Like you use them in a pretty similar way, except they cost 2 instead of 1. I don't know though. Oh, I feel like I put Skeletons really high. But Skeletons definitely are better than like this. Zappies and the freeze. Zappies, oh, no one's agreeing with my Zappies and freeze placement, but I'm sticking true to it. Yeah, you know what? Goblins are down here. Like they're kind of, yeah. Goblin Gang as well. It's the same sort of thing. just a mixture of these two cards. So I just don't know. I guess Goblin Back Gang's a bit better though. Dark Witch. She got buffed recently. I say recently, it was quite a while ago now, but now when she dies, she spawns 4 bats, I think. Which is definitely better, because before she used to spawn no bats, which was awful. Really, she was trash. I still don't think she's good, but she's definitely better. I'm going to put her up here with the Witch, to be honest. People use her in the same way. She basically does the same thing. Actually, I think she's better than the Witch. I'm going to put her higher than the Witch, but the same place. The same. Come on now. They're like the same thing. What else we got? Ugh. Don't use Barbarian Huts, guys. Just don't use... Like, just don't. Okay, just save yourself this trouble. Same with actually your Goblin Huts as well. Like, they're not nearly as bad as your Barb Huts, but just wouldn't bother. Cauldrons, on the other hand. Now, if you're going to use a building, you're going to want it to be Cauldron, right? If you're going to use something that spawns shit. Because, fuck, it's another one that's just so annoying to play against. You got these virgins, yeah, myself included, that use your Hog Rider, your Cauldron, and just shit that you mash with, like Princess Minor, and just like... No one likes you, but also it gets dubs. Like, Cauldrons are so annoying. I think it might be because I use the Royal Giant. It's like, not only can they put it down and just mash my tower if I don't do anything about it, but it also counts as my main push. So I just get dicked, I feel. I'm going to put them here. Yeah, below Skeletons, I'd say. Better than these two for sure. Electro Dragon. Like, it's even worth me... Realistically, it's even worth me doing it. Like, who is using Electro Dragon? I feel like I saw Electro Dragon like in 2 matches when it first released, because people were trying it out, and I've not seen him since. Like, it's pretty dead, to be honest. Probably it's I tier. It's better than Yarban Cheeks, I think, but it's just like, why would you use it? Like, 5 elixir, there's so much better things you can have for 5 elixir. Like, you got your Wizard, your Executioner, your Musketeer for 4. Just like, there's so many things you'd rather have over the Electro Dragon, you know what I mean? So it's going in the bottom of our... It's better than a Giant and a Crossbow, though, let's be honest. The Royal Guards have just caught my eye. Another one. Whereas, like, when they first got released, people used them a little bit, and now it's like dead. Nobody is using these unless you're in like a double or triple elixir tournament or whatever, which don't count. No, I don't really struggle against them ever, so I'm going to put them at the top of Yarban Cheeks. I do think they're not... Yeah, I don't know. Mortar, you're going right next to the Expo. You are literally the same thing. I guess a little bit better because it's cheaper. See, the Bowler's 5 elixir, and it's like, so is the Wizard and Executioner, which can attack air. And the Bowler can't. So it's like... Would you really use the Bowler when you've got these other options that are just way better? Like, I don't know. People do use him, but I don't think he's that good. He's very tanky, though. When you get him on the aggressive, right? Okay, so in a counter-attack deck, I can see it working. Because, like, let's say you counter-attack with, like, a, I don't know, a Royal Giant. Or even a Hog Rider. And then you put down the Bowler behind. Can pop off. Especially since half the time he's going to be doing damage to the tower, even if he's not actually directly attacking the tower. But I don't think he's good. I don't think he's by any means good. Let's put him... Yeah, below Prince, above Lightning. Yeah, in here. He's going to sit in here. I'm sorry, Bowler. You're cool, but you're not good. Let's go for your little Dark Goblin. Oh, Dark Goblins used to be so good. You could just put them down and they would like always do damage to tower and they would always get like 4 hits off. They're going to go in the average cock size tier, I reckon. Just where? What? All the bloody goblins are in your average cock size tier. What the heck? Let's put them in here. I'd say that's pretty accurate. But who is using this? I don't even know what it's called. Skeleton barrel, I guess. Like, you're trash. You know what? You're going an F. You're going an F because you are trash. You're going... I'm not going to disrespect you that much to say that 3 Musketeers are better, but you are garb. Hogs... oh my god, it's one of them where it's like... Who is using this over Hog Rider? Hog Rider 3 damage, pretty much. 4 elixir. Hogs get counted a little bit well, actually, I don't think they get counted easier. But, I don't know, I don't think you consistently get the damage like you do with a Hog Rider. They take up way more space. It's kind of hard to tell because no one uses them because you would never really use these over a Hog Rider. But I don't think they're actually bad despite that. I just think that because the Hog Rider's so good, people don't use them. I'm actually going to put them Yeah, the very top of average cock size tier. Oh, Zappies, I'm sorry. I'm reevaluating the Zappies pick, boys. I love you, Zappies, I really do, but you're trash. Like, yeah, you're going down there, sorry. Oh, Freeze, you're not good either. Like, oh, but you can be. Oh, what do we need? You know what, Freeze? No, Freeze, you're staying there for now. Yeah, I've just realized something, and that is, I'm going to add in a new tier here, right at the bottom. Right, yeah, this one's mirror tier. Just going to put mirror in there. I have no idea where this would sit on the tier list. Like, I basically use the same card that you just used, but it costs one more elixir, I think. What the heck? I just don't know where to put that. No one uses it. I've never used it, and I don't know. It's just like, it's just a weird one. Like, I feel like no one wants to use it either because it's just a difficult one to kind of figure out. I'm gonna just leave that in its own tier and let it vibe because I have no idea. Tombstone actually not that bad for a building one. Not good, but it's not like, I'm not going to disrespect it by putting it down here. What else we got? What else we got down here? Baby Dragon. I feel like, I can't believe I haven't done this one yet. Baby Dragon is such a commonly used card. I know though, because it's very versatile. Again, it's one of them where you can kind of just put it into any deck. But also it's like, would you put it into any deck? I don't know. I feel like people just kind of use Baby Dragon because you use it in the tutorial or whatever, and you're like, the first deck you use has it in, and you kind of attach to it, and you kind of know how to use it, what you can get away with it. So I think that's why it's in a lot of decks, not because I think it's that good. Yeah, I think, yeah, bottom of swag, low swag tier. What else we got? We're coming towards the end now, boys. We've got a few spells, a few troops, a couple of buildings left as well. Not too bad. Let's do some buildings. Bomb tower. Bomb tower. Bombed. Get out. Why would I use you when the hidden Tesla is in the game? Why would I use you, Bomb Tower? Just explain to me one good reason why to use Bomb. Like, you can't. You cannot. Hidden Tesla is like the building for defense, I guess. Like Inferno Tower also, but Hidden Tesla. Hidden Tesla is actually underrated. I feel like people don't use a lot of Hidden Tesla actually, but I think they're actually pretty decent. I'm saying top of fucking average tier. Like, they're not swag. You know what I mean? But like, they're pretty fucking good. Inferno Tower, I'm actually going to put up here as well. A little bit higher. I don't know. I would always use Tesla over Inferno Tower, but I don't think it's better. Does that make sense? Am I weird? Yeah, I am weird, but like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're going at the top of the average cock size tier anyway. Is anyone watching this video, do you reckon? Like, has any of my viewers stayed this long through the video? I don't reckon. Yeah, if you're watching this right now, go down to the comment section and type in Royal Giant got that drippy slip drip. That's the key, it's the drippy slip drip. Go down to the comment section, comment Royal Giant got that drippy slip drip. That's how I'll know you watched the video this far through. And I commend you for that because I'm making a Clash Royale tier list, boys, in 2021 on my channel. Anyway, moving on. Ice Wizard. Don't like this card at all. A fair few people use it, and I just think it's trash. It does like no day. The only time it's really that good is if you're like, someone's pushing with like a giant and they haven't backed it up that well, or like what else could there be? Like, I guess maybe Hog Rider actually is not too bad against, but I don't actually think it's like, it only costs 3, which is nice, but it just like does so little damage, gets 1v1 by anything, even if it takes a while because of the slow effect. Can't even be used as an aggressive card at all, even just to back something up, because it's just like that terrible on damage. There's no point. So it's like exclusively a defensive card, whereas like the Knight, you can counter attack with a Knight and then back it up with something. Even like, it's a bit weird. Like, Knight's more of a defensive card, but it can be done. But yeah, Ice Wizard does not fuck with that. I'm gonna put him to a below or above Prince though. That's the question. I reckon above, purely because he has only 3 elixirs, so like, although he's a bit kind of garbage, doesn't really matter that much. Ghost. No one uses this card, and it's a shame. I used to use this card a lot. Super good for if like there's some shit going on the right and you just whack him down the left, or vice versa, right? Because they will just go not be attacked by princess at all until they're hitting the tower. You know what I mean? Like, that is very good if they get ignored. I used to use this. I used to use a golem deck. I know. Don't ask why. This is before I realized the potential of just spamming on the tower targeters, right? But yeah, I used to use a golem deck, and I would like golem at the back right, and like let it, or maybe back left, but golem at the back right, for example, let it build up the troops with stuff behind it and stuff, and then Ghost on the left. They're focusing so hard on the golem because I've just used like so much elixir on that side. And then the ghost just goes and half hits the tower. Like, it's crazy. I used to win just by the ghost popping off. I don't know, because it can also be used as a defensive card. It's kind of like the knight, except he has to get a hit in order to start tanking hits, because that's when he becomes visible. But he's just not as versatile. I'm just going to put him... You know what? I'm actually going to put him in swag tier. Low... yeah, above freeze. Low in swag tier, because it's like... Yeah, it's pretty versatile, actually. Yeah, we'll put him in there. Tombstone. Who is using this? The worst part is I don't even think it's that awful. Like by comparison to these boys down here. A lot of the time you're going to put it down and it's going to do nothing until it despawns. Which isn't a... Like, it's not really the vibe you're going for, really. Only costs 3 though, so it's kind of like, I'm gonna put it in alright, but like very low alright tier. Above Giant. Giant sucks. Ram Rider is gonna be next. Fucking, where do I put Ram Rider? It's like, again, it's like, just use Hog Rider instead. It's cheaper, closer guaranteed damage pretty much. Well, not closer, but I don't know, it's just cheaper and you get like the same result, use them in the same way, but for 1 elixir cheaper. It's like, I don't know, it's just better. But Ram Rider's still very, very good. Like the same vibe as Hog Rider, really. I'm actually going to put them very high up, even though they're not used often, because Hog Rider's just that much better. Oof, Battering Ram. I just don't think that it's a very good card at all. Like, it's a cool concept. Like, so you've got like the defense, it targets the tower until it hits it, and then it spawns 2 barbarians, right? But usually it's going to be defended against pretty easily, I think, and not actually get the burst damage off on the tower. Honestly, it's going in alright tier. Is it better than the Prince? No, to be honest. It's just falling. It's falling down the tier list. I keep looking at these cards. I'm like, they're better. Bowler's not better. It's going in there. It's going in alright, mid-alright tier. Goblin Giant. Who the fuck is using a Goblin Giant? You know what I mean? You know, it's actually just going to vibe next to the Battering Ram, to be honest. Like, better than regular Giant because of the aerial artillery thing. So, like, I don't know, you can kind of just... It will kind of do things even if it doesn't reach the tower, but still really not good, to be honest. It's like... You may as well just use Royal Giant, which gets way more guaranteed... Not guaranteed. It gets way closer to a guaranteed hit on a tower. Like, the chances of you getting a hit off on the tower when you put down a Royal Giant is very, very high. A lot lower when you use the Goblin Giant. So it's just like, why wouldn't you use the Royal Giant? You know what I mean? Poison is really fucking annoying, but it's another one. I don't know whether it's just because I find it so annoying that I want to put it pretty high. I don't know that it's actually that good. It's a hard one because it's just like, it's 4 elixir. It's another one where it's like, it's kind of on the same vibe as the Fireball, right? You sort of don't want that and a arrows or a zap as well. You kind of want one or the other. But it's like, if I had to choose between poison or arrows, or poison or zap, obviously going to be zap or arrows. I mean, like, look, they're god tier. They're so much more versatile. But also, it's like, if you're on a push, poison can fucking be so annoying. Like, golem pushes and then a poison can just shit on you. Honestly, you can win the game off the bat with a decent golem push and a poison, and you just attack straight away. Like, golem at the back, let it build, and then poison it, and you can just win sometimes because like the decks haven't cycled yet. So, and by the way, it's what I don't like about Clash Royale. You should be able to choose the order that the cards come up in, because so many times people go for these super aggro pushes at the start of a match, and 80% of the time they fail, but the other 20% they just take your tower straight away because you haven't got the shit in your deck to defend against it. So frustrating. It's such a frustrating way to be on a disadvantage or lose. But yeah, with the poison you can definitely sort of hit those vibes, but I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, worse than Cauldron. No, it's going in swag tier. Worse than Cauldron, better than Ghost. Better than Freeze as well. But yeah, I think that's pretty valid, to be honest. Cannon, it's got another building down here. I'm gonna put it in your bun cheeks, but below P.E.K.K.A. Yeah, it's just like, your kind of bun cheeks shape, to be honest. Mega Minion, not used enough, really. Actually, no, adequately used, I'd say. People do use them. Guys, I've just decided I'm dropping the Freeze. I've just decided, like, I just looked at the Freeze in swag tier, and then I looked at the towers over here in average cock size tier, and I thought, I can't put the Freeze above the towers. I just can't. So I have dropped it. We knew it would happen. Come on now. We knew it would happen eventually. What was I saying? I can't remember. I kind of tabbed out because Discord was going crazy. Mega Minion. Yes. Let's put him top of the average cock size, I'm saying. Oh, why have I put Ghost up here? Like, Ghost is not swag. Like, oh, I just realized, Ghost, but Ghost can be swag, but it's like not, it's going above the towers, but below Mega Minion. Mega Minion staying in average cock size, I think. I don't think I can bring myself to put, I'm going to put it in swag, actually. Now, as I say this, I definitely can bring myself to do it. Like, where do you put Barbarians? Like, what? There's such a weird card. They don't really work like anything else. I guess they're pretty decent. Better than like all the goblins, I'd say. Oh, but also no, because there's things that just count. Like a fireball just wipes them out, and a fireball's really common. Bottom of average cock size, to be honest. Kind of not that great of a card. Okay, cannon cart. Yeah, below miner, above battering ram. No one uses it, and it's like when they do, it's like, what is even that? What even is that? So yeah, they're going down here. Like again, it's like they're not like impossible to use well, but just have an easier time if you use something else. See now, oh man, actually tornadoes can be pretty epic and can be really frustrating. So like Hog Rider users, right? When the hog gets the tower, you can tornado it so that it goes and attacks the king. And like people do that and think it's like a huge strat, but I honestly don't even think that it's that worth it, because you got to let the Hog Rider get like 2 or 3 hits off on your princess tower, right? In order to get that, maybe more even, in order to get that tornado to get him to go and hit the king. And then it's still only like a minor nerf, really, minor disadvantage. Yeah, tornado, not that worth it, really. I'm gonna put him a low average cock size tier. Yeah, better than the witches, not better than the goblins. A random spell in there actually, but still, who cares? Ice Golem, pretty underrated actually. People use Ice Golem and I'm like, actually not bad, because as a defensive troop, you can put it down, like if someone's attacking on the right, you can put it down on the left, and it's fat enough to attract their attention, but it walks off to the left, and so whatever's on the right is just walking through your side, getting hit by towers, doing fuck all damage to anything. So the Ice Golem is actually a pretty good defensive troop. Only 2 elixir as well. That is nice. So we're actually going to put this really quite high up. I don't think it's swag tier, but I definitely reckon it's right at the top of the average cock size tier. I used to use Skeleton Army all the time, but I've realized that it's kind of just like, you should really be using Skeleton Guards or Skeletons instead. Like the Skeleton Army is kind of in that weird middle ground where it's like not that much better for how much elixir it is. So it's not going to land itself in the swag tier, but it's still definitely really decent. Like definitely gets the job done. It's going to be up here with the minions, I guess. Rascals. Okay, so a rascal is basically a knight and then 2 archers, but in one and costing 5. No one uses it, and it's just like not that good, so I wouldn't recommend using it. Like 5 is it's pretty expensive for this type of troop that it is. Like it doesn't really do enough, I don't think. And like you can't really use it as a push. You can't really, it's like a decent defense, but it costs 5, and it's just like I'm gonna actually just put it in here. Average cock size below barbs, like the very bottom of the average cock size. Just like, yeah, not that great. We got 3 left. Clone, the giant skeleton, and the skeleton spell. Oh, this spell sucks. It is a definite Yaraban Cheeks Yara shade, to be honest. People try and do like the skeleton thing and then the freeze. It's like a 9 elixir attack. You never get the payoff for it. So I don't know why it's an attack that's like actually that popular. Very rarely do I see this card be used and I'm like, fuck, this is actually annoying. It's doing bits. Fun fact, first legendary I got. So I've actually tried using it when I got it for a bit, because I was like, yo, it's fucking legendary. It's going to be Pog, right? It's going to be sick. Definitely not. Right, Clone and Giant Skeleton. Pretty cool that they've ended up as my last 2, because they're actually very good together. You often see them in the same deck. People put down the Giant Skeleton, and then if they can get it to the tower, you duplicate it, let the skeletons both die in it, then you've got like 2,000 damage off on the tower because of the 2 giant bombs that are dropped. It's a bold strat, but if it works, it's so satisfying. I've used decks like that before. It's such a satisfying deck to use, but kind of doesn't really work often. Like usually you're gonna get countered. The clone is gonna go pretty low because it is a spell. Yeah, it's going very lower. Alright. And then Giant Skeleton, last but definitely not least. Yeah, it's going in here. It's going in here, by the way, next to Miner and Cannon Cart. Because it costs 6 elixir, you kind of have to push with it. Like, you kind of have to
make an effort to use it and like build your deck around it. But it's also not that great for that. Like, if you're going to do that, you may as well use a Royal Giant, which is the same price, and you can get guaranteed damage off on the tower pretty much. High risk, high reward cards, but like, I don't know, I think the consistency is much better, and that's going to land you high on the tier list generally. Okay, and that is it, guys. That is the finalized Clash Royale tier list that you guys have all been, you know, absolutely begging for, obviously. That was how I started this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys disagree with anything I put on the tier list or tier list. I'd love to hear you guys' opinions, since I know you're all Clash Royale gamers. Hence why you all really wanted this video. And with that being said,